In Season 9, Episode 1, The Top 10 Things You Never Saw, a fine piece of wood was found and dated to 660 AD. Mind-blowing. This piece of wood does not mean that the ship itself dates back to 660. I highly doubt this. With the high amount of wood, that indicates more recent centuries. The ship itself is down 50 feet, and with all in me, I want it to be of Templar origin. The massive stone platform in the swamp was dated to 1220 by Dr. Ian Spooner. Who else would have had the knowledge, capacity, and need at that time to build that stone platform but the Templars? And of course we know that gold has been mined out of Gold River on the mainland right across from the island. Zena Halpern made a note of that one very quickly. And of course North America was rich in other items of great value to Europeans, such as fur. Fur became a huge commodity akin to importance in the line of oil and gold. Fur was a currency in itself. And I do think that Oak Island in itself is ceremonial in nature. One side, I believe it's the south side, has the capacity to bring a large craft fairly close to the island. Of course, it would have had to have had the other craft, smaller ones, capable of traveling to the shoreline and back. But it is highly probable, and I've always hoped that Nolan's Cross would date back to this time. I do hope that it turns out to be of Templar origin. As I said in 2018, December, of my interview on Oak Island at that time, that the headstone of Nolan's Cross, I believe it is a tribute to John the Baptist, the skull stone, the headstone. And of course there's a blade on it as well, which acts as a compass and can take in and lead to the swamp. The ship itself is 50 feet below ground. It is very possible that I think there are two ships that could be in the swamp. I believe that theory has been floated. It is likely that the more recent ship is of the Elizabethan era and early into the 1600s, and probably of Spanish origin. If it is of Elizabethan order, if it's an English ship or a French ship, then again they would be heirs of Templarism, and they would be re-engaging with the island to protect their spiritual treasures or to inter new ones, treasures that perhaps were never meant to be brought above ground. Many items found on the island link to those centuries of Elizabethan and into the 1600s. However, the lead cross is still my favorite, the one found at Smith Cove. It's from Gard, France, a mine that ceased its usage in the 1340s. The date of 660 AD is stunning. I believe that the wood had been carved into the shape that it is in. What was this piece of wood doing on a vessel of much more recent centuries? What was its purpose? With space being a premium on a vessel, it had to have been deemed highly valuable in order to bring it from Europe to North America, to Oak Island. Is it possible, and I did quote this item as a navigation tool in my first book, The Secret Dossier of a Knight Templar of the Sangreal. I highlighted many navigation tools that were very old origins, all the way on up to more recent centuries. This one in particular is legendary, and it is highly unusual. What if this piece of wood is evidence of the Celtic Cross navigation tool? What is that, you say? Some of you should know this. Celtic crosses are a thing of beauty out of our medieval early past, most notably in Ireland. Crichton Miller reverse engineered the Celtic Cross, gave it moving parts, and realized it was a useful navigation tool and surveying tool. Sheer inspiration, sheer genius. His background is in Royal Air Force air traffic control, so he is highly credible. He is a fellow of the Chartered Institute of Logistics and Transport. Crichton was awarded 2 patents in 2001 and 2002 on the pre-Christian solar cross known as the Celtic Cross or Holy Rood in Scotland, as a prehistoric surveying, astronomical, and navigation instrument capable of spherical geometry before the invention of trigonometry. His book explains how and why stone circles and pyramids all over the world were built and aligned to the sun, moon, and stars, how astrology was invented to keep time and travel the oceans in prehistory, leaving a legacy that can be seen in every medieval church. That is a snippet out of his off of Amazon that discusses his discovery, who he is, and it's incredible. Please look into that. Please look at a copy of my book as well, The Secret Dossier of a Knight Templar of the Sangreal, so that you can see the broad range of navigational equipment used at very early times, including the lodestone, the magnetic properties of which were discovered in the 1200s by Peter Peregrinus, or Peter the Pilgrim, indicating that he was a crusader, and I believe an unsung Templar that was the patroned by Roger of Sicily, King Roger, a known Templar supporter. It is a very important discovery, the Celtic Cross by Crichton Miller. And just to kind of give you a bit of grounding as to why I think it's possible a ship in the 1200s or in the Elizabethan era or later could have had a 7th century Celtic navigation tool as part of its war chest. Consider this. In recent years, off the coast of France, an Elizabethan warship was discovered. It sank in 1592. On board was a crystal next to a compass and in a navigation box. And again, I highlight that in my book. What was a Viking sunstone doing on board an Elizabethan warship? The Viking heyday ended in 1066, when the greatest Viking of them all took the English throne. William the Conqueror, a descendant of Rollo, the feared Viking, who was married off to the Merovingian princess of Paris in order to cement peace and safety from other Viking raiders. Rollo became the Duke of Normandy, and the Viking sunstone, optical calcite, is only mined in Norway. Icelandic spar is also of the same quality in that it can be a cloudy day and you can find the sun whilst looking through the Viking sunstone. So this would have been considered a top secret bit of technology that you would have protected with the power of state behind you. In other words, you would have to kill someone if they discovered it. Not too differently from the way governments around the world protect their technology, their espionage technology. So, is it possible that this little piece of wood dug up from the swamp could have been the remains of Crichton Miller's reverse-engineered Celtic Cross that helped a ship in centuries past navigate successfully to Oak Island? It's probable. Thank you. If you've enjoyed the video today, please consider liking my video on YouTube and please subscribe. That way it is a form of donation. Once I have 1,000 subscribers, then there will be a little bit of monetary coinage coming in to help pay for cost of travel, website cost, domain names, etc. Also, I am on Patreon, and I think I will take this moment to say thank you to my current patrons. You are truly a blessing to me. Thank you for helping me keep my work going forward at a very difficult time for millions of people around the world. Thank you for watching today. Respect yourself, respect others. Be well.